Alright guys, this is tip number 1. Always outbuff your towers. So, for example, we have a 401 ninja monkey right here, okay? Now, let's see him take down a Moab. Let's speed it up a bit. It's kind of rough, I'm not gonna lie. He just barely pops in, the inside still make it through, right? But, if we have the alchemist right here, this is one of the most important things in the game, right? We even buff to a berserker brew, just a 300. You'll see how much of a difference it makes. Observe. Look at that. And that is just the 3rd tier. It's not even the 4th tier. It's not even a buffed 4th tier. Just watch. So, look. Right there. So easy. And without the out buff, it couldn't even take out a Moab without it reaching over halfway. And the balloon sides still made it out. And now, with this out buff, we can take down a BFB. Even. So let's watch. Look how easy this is. He just smoked it, no sweat. He takes out all the Moabs inside without even them passing this circle. So easy. And he couldn't even take out one Moab before. So that is insane. And you recommended you should do this with towers that have a lot of projectiles, because the brew actually relies on what's it called? How many projectiles, like how fast they shoot. So if you have something like Super Monkey, it won't last very long. So let's watch. So let me just get let's get a bat out real quick, or actually not. Let's get out a zone, and then let's speed it up, and then let's just watch. Let's see how fast this appears. See, it's gone already. Gone again. See, you wanted to get something with a lot of projectiles so that, like a druid, for example, ninja monkey, tax. Yeah, so you want to last longer, and the more projectiles there are, the better, because more hits will get. There'll be more hits with the same effect rather than less hits, without the buff. And these 3 towers, tack, druid, and ninja, all shoot out several projectiles. Like ninjutsu and grandmaster shoot out 5 and 8 respectively. Druid shoots out 5 to 8. Tack shoots out way too many. Like, way too many. Just look at this. Yeah. And it's still buff. It's not even done yet. Look, compared to the Super Monkey, just watch. So let's just see. Look, it's still there. Still there. The Super Monkeys would have been done over, 6 times, double the amount. So, yeah. And also, if you get up to a perma brew, for example in a chimps run, or if you just farm a lot, I recommend, instead of going for the 520, you go for a 501, as to get all your monkeys coated faster. And perma brew, obviously, as the name implies, applies the previous brew permanently, which is pretty insane, I'm not gonna lie. And it also works very effectively on aces, like Navamis aces, or Spectres, Flying Fortresses, those things. Tip number 2. Always farm. You see this amazing farm right here? This is what's known as a banana farm. This shoots out amazing bananas, and these bananas provide money. Money. So amazing. Look how many DDT6 it can pop. Oh. Oh, this sucks. Nah, I'm just kidding. See, banana farms are crucial to pretty much any game of balloons, because with farming, by mid to late game, you can basically get any tower you want except paragons or darts. Paragons or temples, right? Obviously, you need to do a ton of farming, probably get a late game, but with farming, let's say you have a couple 4th tier, 1 5th tier farms right here. Just gonna throw some out, Put one of these, and you probably go, if you go top path, I recommend go middle path. So let's just do that. Let's do quickly, just do that, And then what's it called? Yeah. There you go. This will make you so much cash right here, and you can even place down a I don't have the power, but it'll place down a farmer to collect it all for you. And if you want to go for the bottom path, which you can. So I recommend top path personally, but bottom path is actually very nice. So again, probably go for middle path. So bottom path, you don't need to farm for it with using farmers because it goes into your cash, and it also makes you lives at the end of each round. It doesn't tell you that, but it does. And also central markets, very nice. Again, use valuable bananas especially. With the third tier, you could argue to use the greater production, but you pretty much have to use valuable bananas because it's a difference between $75 and $90. So yeah, highly recommended. And these are basically just lazy farms. So if I had to rank them in terms of efficiency, right, I'd say the top path is second most effective, right? And then least effective is the banana marketplace. But the middle tier is actually the most efficient. So let me tell you about the middle tier. This is a monkey bank. Now this is a bit differently because it doesn't give you cash right away. It builds up over time. I recommend you get increased production and greater bananas. Greater production, sorry. You can actually make $9,000, right? And it's pretty impressive. If you have just a ton of banks, you make so much money. So much money. And yeah, however, I don't really recommend you go for the IMF loan. Unless you're gonna go for getting more banks. That's the only reason to see it. Because it's only good for getting more farms. I really don't recommend it. However, the 5th tier Monkeynomics will grant you $20,000 every time you use the ability, right? So the 4th tier gives you 10,000 with a hindrance. You have to pay debt. This one just gives you 20,000. Okay, but we're not talking about that. I actually recommend just going for the 3rd tier with a greater production. It's actually crazy how well this is. And then after you get just a bunch of banks, I also recommend you go for this because this will make you the greatest money right away. You know, it's very good. It's very good. And then if you want, you can go for the central. But honestly, banks and plantations, pretty insane. Yeah, research facility, central, pretty insane. Yeah, highly recommend that. All right. For my 4th tip, we will be going for the spike factory. Now, what do we want with the spike factory? Well, my tip is to always get a perma spike in the back. All right. And you can get faster production, but you're gonna get out buff, which I personally don't want. So I'm gonna go with the bigger stacks, but faster production is probably better. However, the perma spike, one of the cheapest but best 5th tier towers in the entire game, right? It is insane. This can do so much. You can win with just a perma spike and a couple of towers. Perma spike and some other popping powers. Obviously, it won't, last you that long. But perma spike and solo, look, just look. 3 DDTs, right? Barely faced. Let's do round 100. Actually, no. Let's do round 98. Hardest round of the game. Keep in mind, this perma spike hasn't been going for very long, so let me just get a homeland defense really quickly just to boost its speed. Very fast. Let's go. Keep going for a minute. Let these balloons go through, and you're about to see why this is so OP. Right? Keep in mind, this is the hardest round in base game, pretty much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 8, 9 SOMGs and a ton of reinforced BFPs. Reinforced, and look, it's taking on all of them. Of course, it's gonna lose, but it took out over a quarter of reinforced BFBs. Like, that's pretty nutty. This wasn't the best example, but as you saw what it is, those DDTs, not even a question how good it is. Perma spike in the back is just so reliable. You just feel so safe. When you get this 5th tier tower, you feel so safe. Like, I'm not even kidding. Every time you get this, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna win. No problems. Right? And this is only half the tip. Other half of the tip is not only get the perma spike, to get the Prince of Darkness along with the perma spike. Now, this is one of the best combos in the game. Perma spike can basically clean up any balloon, but the Prince of Darkness can basically do the same thing. So observe. Let me send out. Let's go 100. Let's just say 100 black balloons, right? So let's let the Prince of Darkness do that, right? And now let's look at this. Now we send out Moabs. Yeah, there we go. Probably send it back to 1. But yeah, just look. Oh, whoa, too many. Way too many. But still, it did a lot. So yeah, now we have enough. So let's just send out. Just keep spamming. That should be good enough, right? With 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, about that much. Even the ceramic insides get destroyed by this. Obviously, my first example was something over, what, 500 Moabs? You know, that was pretty bad, but, you know, you understand. Prince of Darkness is just such a good, again, it's like the perm spike. Cheap, but extremely effective. It's so good, I recommend getting both of these, no matter what. Any game, you get both of these, you win automatic GG. Because perm spike, fully charged, can beat a bad, and Prince of Darkness cleans up everything else. Prince of Darkness is one of the best cleanup powers. Perm spike, one of the best cleanup, defense, backup, everything. Literally best, okay? That is the tip. It's arguably one of the most important yet simple tips, and that will be the positioning and the targeting of the monkey. So, with certain maps, you know, you're gonna want to place a monkey to be how it's most effective. So let's just send out a bunch of yellow balloons for this 000 dollar. As you can see, you know, he's just targeting first, so he's changing directions every so often. But if you put him on last, for instance, so he only targets in a straight line instead of going up. Let's get a few, just a couple of greens, you know. You'll see. So simple. And look, more damage. I know it was just greens, but yeah. You can actually see this as the best example with the Juggernaut. So let's send out a couple of leads, right? And as you can see, let me just slow it down. Let me just do that again real quick. So let's just slow down, get a couple of leads. Speed up, slow down. All of his attacks hit every single balloon. Whereas if you put him on first, or if you just move him like this, right? So let's move him like that. Oh, but 50 accidentally. So let's just do this, that. Then you just get a bunch of leads. He keeps changing directions, right? So he's first, and he also doesn't get all the balloons immediately. So if you place him like up here, for example, or up here, or up here. So this, that, or that. Straight lines, so you can leave these on first. But if you place on the sides, I recommend you leave on last. Because if you leave on last again, it will focus on the balloons going this way. Instead, if the balloons pass him, if he's not strong enough, you'll still keep targeting the ones in the back, leading to more pops. You can also do this with something like a crossbow. Let's get a 0-4, and let's summon some couple black balloons, right? Just a bunch. You know, let's summon so many rainbow balloons. Yeah. See, he doesn't target those, and he just gets more pops from here, like that. He get less pops if he was on first, if he was on close, if he was on strong, because it wouldn't work that well. It would only work well if you keep him on last, so he can target basically every single balloon in this row. Now, you can also use this tip with things like the Kaio boomerang, since it's in a straight line. You can also use this tip with things like, let me find the tower. Not that one. Obviously, you can do this with the, I forgot which tower it was, but you can actually do this with basically all piercing projectiles. So like the bottom path engineer, you can do this with even actually, this is a weird one, but the shrapnel shot sniper is actually a pretty important example. So let's do this. Now the reason for this is the shrapnel hits behind. So imagine you keep him on first, and the balloons keep going this way like this, right? He'll target them when they go up, but it won't exactly work that well. So let's leave him on last. Let's send out a round. What round is good? I'm not sure. So let's just rock it, right? So let's do this. So as you can see with that, he is popping the Moabs in the back. Right? He's not popping the Moabs, he's popping everything in the back. Unfortunately, I hate that nerf, but yeah, with the not being able to pop leads, but it's fine. So as you saw right there, he was able to pop all those, but honestly, I think with this specific spot, the sniper is probably better on first, because it'll shoot so fast it'll hit all of them anyway. And if it's in the back, it will probably actually miss a couple of the balloons. So let me just redo that. Let me show you. let me get a MIB. I'm not gonna use the ability, but yeah. Let's leave him on first. And let's just get all those quickly. Oh, this didn't work out how I expected, but let's just send out 20. Let's have the spacing be like 4. And let's do a couple of greens. Never mind, they're too weak. Rainbows. Yes, as you can see, with the Shrap, he will, when they pass through here, and when they go up or this way, all the balloons effect will be hit by the shrapnel. You see that? Yeah, that's the shrapnel. And when it goes down, it'll also hit the shrapnel. Of course, I'm not doing a very good job of showing that. But if you get Elite Defender, or again the 4th tier, it's very, very, very important that you keep positioning and you keep ability to be targeted in mind. My next step is for farming XP as well as money. So you can do this. If you didn't know, you can actually gather XP faster on more advanced maps, and the harder the difficulty, the more XP you get. So I don't have the exact statistics right now, but you have to trust me on this. The fact that the harder maps there are, the more XP and money obviously you'll make. So let's say you're playing on deflation on Inferno right here. So by the way, this is some spread. I recommend just getting a full auto with large caliber, and then you're gonna get a village right here. This, I believe you can afford this. So like that, or if you can't really afford this, you can get 4th tier. It's fine. But this will solo basically everything. Yeah. Let's see. Zone G. Let's just see. So anyway, the main this tip was not really a strategy for deflation, because this can clap deflation no sweat. But the main tip was actually just about XP. So again, the harder maps you play, the more XP you'll get, and the more hard the difficulty is, the more XP you'll get as well. So the harder map plus the harder difficulty, you will get a ton of XP for all the new players who EA haven't unlocked all the paths for every monkey, or B, they just want to level up. If they're even high level players, you know, and they just want to get, so let's say level 102, right? So a lot of XP. And you know, it's a very helpful advice for people who don't know how to gather XP. So yeah. Alright guys, my next tip is to never use Admiral Brickle. Yes, I am serious. Never use Brickle. Ever. Like just don't use Brickle. Also, only use Azealia on alternate balloon rounds. Yep. No. Final tip, arguably the most important, right? Remember, Quincy is just humble, okay? Nothing actually gets past his bow. Just watch. Just watch. See? Nothing gets past his bow. Just ignore this. Yeah, just ignore. Yo, Quincy, bro. What are you doing? We talked about this. Come on, man. I thought you were better than this, man. How could you betray me?